Hello everyone, greetings from Inextricable Group United Kingdom. Let's watch another new user training video, how to use Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central ERP in your business operation in the organization. I'm sure this video will help you to enhance your knowledge on Business Central effectively. Happy watching!
So, today we'll be discussing location. So, location is basically warehouse in Business Central. So, in Business Central, there are 3 tiers of location. First of which is basically Tier 1, which is just location. It's in and out. Second tier is when we're considering bins and pallets into the system. So, location plus the corresponding pallet structure. That's how the items will be stored. The third and the last approach will be advanced, wherein zones are activated. So, meaning location, zones, and then bins/pallets. I'll be demoing to you the third one, which is the advanced warehouse. To do that, I'll be going into our search and then type in location. Once I click location, it will show you all the list of locations into the system. For this exercise, I'll be using white. Within white, you can see here the location card for white and then all the information related to white. Warehouse such as the address, the contact person, the phone number, the email, so on and so forth. At the same time, you can see here the setup of white warehouse. So, once this radio buttons are enabled, this is actually setting up the location as advanced. In addition to that, we can set up different receipt bins. So, where is the product receipted by default? Where is the product shipped by default? Are there any bins for open shop floor? Where is the stocks getting picked up and getting shipped and then picked up? Adjustment cross-stocking and then assembly. Within the location cards, this is where we actually specify whether we prohibit maximum capacity of the bin pallet. Do we allow more than that capacity, or do we not want the system to check whether we have capacity or not? In the system as well, it also suggests whether to pick first expiry, first out, or first in, first out. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be discussing the highest structure of warehouse. I'll start first with zones. So in the zones, you can see all the areas of our location. So this is where we structure everything. And then of course, within a zone, there are bins. So this is where the bins are set up. So you can see here these are the bins. And then there are maximum weight. So if we're going to do capacity planning or capacity checking of the area, these are the setups that needs to be configured. One step back. If I want to go back 2 zones and then I want to prohibit a zone onto a certain activity, let's say I just want it to be a pick zone, a put away zone, a QC zone, so on and so forth. We can also handle that by doing a bit type setup. So let's say for storage, this is where we do our put aways, and then when we check our put aways, it only allows put away activity. So if we are to use put pick, this is where we can actually put. Very straightforward. Once we establish all the setup, that's the time we can actually use the location. A location can actually be prohibited to certain employees. Let's say we have 500 warehouse employees, and then this white location can be only accessed by 10. We can enroll warehouse employees, and we can just stab whoever is the user of the warehouse so that the system will know whether to allow that user to transact using that location or not. That's location set up. In addition to that, of course, inventory posting are in consideration for the finance team. This is where we set up our accounting entries. Every time I received from this location. For this category, this is the inventory account, the interim account, the WIP account, so on and so forth. I'll be using this now for a transaction. I'll be creating a purchase. So to raise a purchase order, we're just going to go to purchase order. And then quickly raise a PO under that location. And now create a new entry. Let's say I'll be raising a PO for Progressive Home, and then I'll be buying Hinge to them. That's the scenario, and then it should be receipted into White Warehouse. So I'll be performing the task now. So let's say I'm the procurement. I'll create a purchase order. Progressive Home. And then I'll be POing a couple of items from them. Let's say a hinge. This one. Then I'll be using our white location. Then how many products am I going to procure? You can see here the direct unique cost will automatically be computed based on the last purchase price. Then once we're happy with that, of course, we're going to release and then send it to the supplier. So at a certain point, the supplier will confirm and then deliver the goods. So as a warehouse, I'll be receiving that stock into the system. So to do that, I'll go into Warehouse Receipt. The Warehouse Receipt is a document in Business Central, where it's basically receiving stuff for the warehouse. So to create a new Warehouse Receipt, I'll just click New, and then I'll be selecting the location, which is white. So you can see here all the applicable location for my user will be shown in here. And then going in from the Warehouse Receipt, I can just get it from the source document. So basically I'll be pulling the data from all the purchase order. So this is the PO8 I raised earlier. And this should contain the hedge. So you can see here, initially it will be received into the receiving zone, meaning all the stocks will be lumped there, and then I have to prepare my put away to move the stocks from one area to another. So if the supplier decided to partially deliver us the goods, there is a portion for quantity to receive to enter the actual quantity delivered. So let's say the supplier delivered only 7. We can just change the quantity so that only 7 will be recorded into our inventory. So once I'm happy with that, I can just supply the packing slip ID number and then post the warehouse receipt. Once I post the warehouse receipt, inventory will now be acknowledged, but it's not yet in the good stocks for picking. So it's still at receiving zone. I'll quickly show that to you after I post this transaction. So after the system is done with posting, you can see here it will create another source document, which is our case put away, because the next step is to put away the goods from receiving doc going into whatever location it is assigned. At the same time, since I've already received 7, you can see here that we have outstanding quantity within our warehouse receipt for 3. This is subject for receipt. We can just cancel the remaining 3 so that we can close the purchase order. What I'll be showing to you is the product card now, and then where is the 7 which I received. So I'll be opening in a product card or an item card. Then you can see here inventory. So we have now 10,007, and if I want to drill down 7, so you can see now I have 7 in white. Then if I wanted to learn where is that 7 inside the white warehouse, we can actually go in here and then check the bin content. Then we have 7 NW08001, which is the receiving zone. So the next step is to actually move the stock from the receiving zone going into whatever bin it is assigned. So to do that, there's our warehouse put away process. Remember, the system automatically generated it for us. So you can see here within warehouse put away, there's a put away generated, PU7. And then in here, it will show us that we take it from receiving zone and then put it at the picking zone, because that's where the stocks are being picked, or the good stocks. So the system will suggest you to move those items at a certain period. So the due date is 7/3, because we have lead time set up. So once we're happy with that, let's say I've already finished my put away, I can just register it so that it will automatically move the stocks from receiving zone going into the picking zone. So if I checked the product, I'll go in again to items, and then I'll search for the hinge. Yeah, this one. So it's still 10,007. And then if I wanted to check the bin location, you can see here it is now moved from the receiving zone, which is W08, so it's now W04.